are back for the quarantine versus quantum leaps. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to my kitchen. Welcome to the birds and the paddling pool that I got the dogs. And if you haven't got your book, U Squared, go grab it. If you don't own one, go order one. Okay, we've been doing these episodes every week. Every Monday, I come and share my thoughts on the chapters. And today we are on page 7 and 8, okay? And I'm super excited about today's because it's exactly what you need to hear right now, okay? There is somebody watching this now who needs to hear this, all right? So I want you to really zone in on what I'm saying. And more than that, don't just listen with your ears, listen with your emotions, okay? I don't want you just to hear this. I want you to listen to it, all right? So the title says it all. Change your personal rules for success. Well, that definitely is important in these days and months and everything moving forward because we now have to work differently. We have to change our personal rules of success. Now, before we change anything, we've got to first ask ourselves, what is my kind of belief and rules around success? So that would be the first question that I would get you to ask yourself. Firstly, what is success to you? Okay, that's a really good question to start off with. A lot of people get tripped up from the greatness and abundance that they should have in their life because they think success is potentially a bad thing. Okay, maybe it's you don't feel worthy enough. Maybe you feel guilty. Maybe you think maybe success means money and that's bad. Like everybody on this call is always going to have a different perception. So you've got to ask yourself first and foremost, what is success to you? Okay, now in all the chapters that we've been reading, the fundamental thing that I keep spreading with you guys is we are wanting more. We want increase. We want to be a fuller expansion and expression of ourselves. We are creative beings. Maybe you found being on lockdown, you felt a wee bit more frustrated, you felt a bit more confined. That's possibly because you're not able to get out and express yourself fully. Maybe you're not able to create. Maybe you're in sports and you can't do what you normally do. So everything just suddenly changes, okay? And what we've got to realize is it's never going to go back to the way it was, okay? Never, literally. And nothing ever does. Like life today is so different from life yesterday. When you really look in and zone in. And your self-image and your who you present every day is different every day. All right, there's Leo tuning in. Leo, sorry, I messed up the time schedule today. Don't shout at me. So what is success to you? Okay, ask yourself that. Because your success and success to me could be worlds apart, and you don't always have to go what other people say success is. You want to find your definition of success, what drives and pulls you every single day. Now, I think Earl Nightingale, who was Bob's personal mentor, said it best. He said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea. Now, what that means is you are a successful person if you are moving forwards in the direction of your goal. Okay? That is what it is. So if we think of it that way, then we got to ask ourselves, do I have a goal and am I moving towards it? Okay, so ask yourself that. What is your goal? And what are you doing today to move in the direction of it? Now, some of you might fall into a paradigm trap where you might think, well, I can't do much because I'm on lockdown. And that is so far, far from the truth. Why? Because everything, okay, whatever that is, whether it's an achievement, whether it's a better income, whether it's a better relationship, whatever it is, that is created by a thought first. Now, can you think when you're on lockdown? Yeah, you can do a whole load of it. You've got more time to do that. You can be thinking when you're in the bath. You can be thinking when you're in your shower. In fact, what we see is most of people that I know get their best inspiration in the shower. So we've got to, separate the doing from the thinking, the non-physical part, and then the action part. Both are absolutely required. You are a co-creator in this universe, okay? There is spirit, and then spirit lives in you, and then you've got a physical body. So you've got to ask yourself, what are you doing today to move you forward towards your goals, okay? Now let's read what Price Pritchard says here. He says, leveraging up your personal effectiveness by an order of magnitude, going from U squared is not commonplace idea. So this isn't the normal, okay? This isn't how most people think. In fact, most people don't think. And that's not me being critical or rude. You look at some people's behaviors, maybe look at your behavior and really ask yourself, do you know better? And that, I could find places where I know I can do better. And you got to ask yourself, why do I not do better if I know how to do better? And of course, it all comes down to your mindset, to your paradigm, to your conditioned way of habitually working. You probably all have said to yourself, today's Monday, right? This week I'm going to get this done in the house. Last week I said I was maybe going to do bits and pieces, but you didn't quite maybe do it. Or maybe it's something to do with work. I do not know. But I promise you, there's loads of people that will have said, I'm going to do that this week. Now you've got to ask yourself, why would this week be any different to last week? And you might say, well, I'm going to really do it this time. I'm going to get really disciplined. I'm going to get really focused. And I'll go, okay, that's good. That's definitely what you need to do. But will you do it? Because it's your thinking. It's your habitual nature that is ruling what you do, not what you think. You think on a conscious level, and that controls 2 to 4% of what you actually do. Isn't that crazy? And your subconscious programming, your subconscious mind, which is the part that controls your actions, controls 96 to 98% of what you actually do. I call that part your autopilot, okay? So it says here, it's not a normal thing to take quantum leaps. It's not even a normal thing to be plugging in on a Monday and listening to this stuff. Like, this is not what the norm, like the masses do. I look like I've got a really dodgy tan. I'm going to get blinded. Let me move this slightly. Oh, so much better. There we go. The sun is out in force today. Let me shimmy it. Do you like my kitchen? Isn't that beautiful? There's Rex in the background on the sofa where he's not supposed to be. And he looks away. So it says, you should not be surprised to hear that unconventional success calls for unconventional approaches. All right, if you're going to get unconventional results, above the norm, above average, really hit the top spot in whatever it is that you do, the best relationship, the best fulfillment from whatever it is that you do on a daily basis, whether that's your job, whether that's your company. You're going to get so much more out of it if you do things that other people aren't willing to do. Okay? Successful people do things that unsuccessful people are not prepared to do. Sometimes people can look at successful people and go, oh, they get it so easy. You don't actually get it easy, okay? I am always working on me. I'm always working on my craft. I was on my mastermind call today with 7 and 8 figure earners. And I'm a wee fish in a big pond and I love it. And I put myself into that place. I pay very high money to put myself in that place because I know the people I hang around, the people that I nurture and grow from will help me grow further. So I do things that most people would think is crazy, like absolutely crazy, okay? And I can see why they think that way, but what I also get is crazy results. And that's what you want, okay? It says, if you want to accelerate your rate of achievement rapidly, you must search out and vigorously employ new behaviors. Now, I want you just to think of this for 1 second. Think about where you're at. Think about where you want to go. Okay, I want you to all think about your goal right now. If you don't have a goal, then just think about how one area of your life you would like to be different. Okay? And then ask yourself, what is one habit that I think that version of me would have? So what is one habit that I think that higher version of myself would have that I don't currently possess? That's all you've got to think about, is just one habit. And if you don't know, I would go and find somebody that's doing what you really want to do at the level you want to do it at, and look at their habits, look at their behavioral patterns, look at how they spend their day. How do they start their morning? What is their daily rituals? All successful people have a daily ritual. Everyone. So what is yours? Do you have one? So that version of you, just think of one habit. You just decide this week, like this week right now, this week, Monday. Just decide you're going to practice that new habit. You're going to incorporate it in your life, in your day-to-day activities. Okay? That's my challenge for you this week. Pick one habit and apply it to your life. Okay? That's what I want you to do. I'm going to move this slightly because it keeps saying I've got poor connection. Okay, so on to page 8, okay? You're okay, Diane. You're not late. I was all over on time. So I'm talking to Bob at 6, so I had to ditch his. Okay, on the top of page 8, it says, quantum leaps require paradoxical behavior, unusual moves, actions that on the surface often seem to contradict common sense. So we'll call that logic. Maybe you've been thinking about doing something in the last few weeks as you've been on lockdown. Maybe you've had creative ideas. Maybe you've come up with faced opportunities. And the opportunities scare you. Let's be honest. They excite you, but they also scare you. Okay? Why? Because your paradigm is making you afraid. These are probably opportunities that will transcend you beyond where you currently are. And it probably means you need to do something you've never done. It is normal for fear to just get its claws in. That's a really good indication that it's for you. I remember Bob teaching me this one time, and it was a massive eye-opener. I used to, get really confused between feeling really like afraid to do something, and I have terror barriers too, I have fear, and I used to think, oh no, my gut's saying this isn't good, so I probably shouldn't do it. And that was a paradigm in disguise. That was this little voice telling me this story, which I freely bought into. Why? Because it made the fear disappear really quickly. I just went, no, it's not for me. Get me out of there, okay? But what Bob told me was, Kim, if you're feeling that internal volcano, because that's what it's like, you're just like, rah! That wouldn't happen if you didn't want that. You wouldn't feel anything if it wasn't for you. And that really made me think. I was like, that is a very, very good point. Nobody can make me do anything that I don't want to do. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. But sometimes we have this internal battle where you want to step out, you want to do what is illogical, and you don't even know why you want to do it, and you don't even know if it'll work, but there's a part of you that wants it. And that's where that interests me. What is that part of us? Like, this is the science that I love to get into, because I can't deny that there is a part of me wanting to move forward, and then I also have this other part that wants me to stay. Now, when I look at the part of me that wants to stay and I actually analyze that and look at the crap that it's telling me, that doesn't actually serve me. There's actually usually never any proof that it would happen. I've just made it up. And then I wonder, but what is that little part of me that wants to move forward? Because I've no experience. It's going out into areas I've never been before. Why is there a part of me being drawn? And that's the part that it excites me. The unknown excites me. Why? Because I have to grow to the same extent as I'm stretching myself. So imagine this. If I go to the gym and I rip and stretch my muscles, depending on how long I did it, depending on the intensity, all of that stuff, my muscles will only grow to the same degree, okay? So if I keep going to the gym and keep lifting the same weights at the same weight for the same amount of reps over a period of time, I will stay in the same shape. But what if I want to grow more muscle? I have to add on more weight, or I have to do lighter reps, or maybe I do heavier reps. This is where I have to change the behavior if I'm going to change the outcome. I'm thinking of this because 6 years ago, this past weekend, I competed in NABA. Does anyone know what NABA is? It is a bodybuilding competition in Northern Ireland, and I won that in 2014. And it's really interesting. I've learned so much from that journey, because before I started, I had never seen my abs, ever. Now, I couldn't see my abs, but I believed that I had them. Why? Because you can go to science, you can look at the anatomy of a human being, and I'm not going to think I'm the only human being that, I wasn't made without them, okay? But I couldn't see them because I had never worked my core like that before. So I had to trust somebody who knew more than me to teach me what to do, teach me what to eat, teach me how to, all of those things. And I followed a process. I had no proof available to me that I could turn out the way I did, but I also had no proof that I didn't. Now, using that as an example, I had to do things that I did not want to do. I had to train at ridiculous, I was a nurse at the time, so I was working 12 hours a day, and I was training twice a day for about 5 days a week. And it was brutal. And you know what always amazes me? I got it all done. You'll always make the time for the stuff that you want in your life. I feel like I had for every day that human beings got, I felt like it was a week for me, the amount that I used to get done. Why? Because I was committed to the goal. I was committed to the end result. I was walking by faith, not by sight. I was following a process, and I was persistent. In the nights when I was so hungry and all I would have ate your arm for just an extra 20 grams of oats. That's how bad it was. But I knew I had to do things that other people weren't doing if I wanted to win. And it's the same in life. If you want to win in life, whilst you have no need to compete against other people or other businesses, that's not what we're about. Amateurs compete, professionals create. You are competing against yourself. You always want to be a better version of yourself. So it would go to reason that you've got to do things that you didn't do yesterday if you're going to have tomorrow different than today. It's the same in your goals. If you want to end this year strong, you've got to do things totally different than you did this time last year, especially now, okay? As human beings, though, we ordinarily go with the obvious. We fall into the habit of relying on behaviors that seem to have worked best for us over the years. When we take an approach that seems to be very serviceable and which enables us to perform well and succeed, we become very attached to it. Well, who is attached to their processes that have worked in the past? Roxy and Rex are very excited about a bell. So think about this. What have you got way too attached to? There's something in your life, a process, a system, and you're saying, it worked for me before, it got me this month. Well, guess what? It's going to get you the same next month. It's going to get you the same in 6 months' time. And that's why, as creators, as spiritual beings, always wanting fuller expansion and expression, we've got to realize we got to keep adapting. We got to keep changing. We got to keep growing. And most importantly, we got to keep thinking of new ideas, more creative ideas, stepping outside of your paradigm, looking at what you used to think and go, if I was Kim, what would I think about this situation? If I was Bob, what would I think? Or think of somebody that you respect in your industry who's making it happen. Step out of your goggles, your lens, and just start to look at the world through somebody else's lens. That is literally all we have to do. If we look through the lens of the version of life that we want, that is what we can see. But the little saying goes, sometimes you can't see the picture for being in the frame. So you gotta step out. You've gotta look at your results. Get really introspective. Get accountable for what it is that you have in your life. Not sad, not pity party, not victim mode, not blaming others, but actually go, yep, these are my results, and that means that I've created them. There's no other way around it. But it's not a time to go, oh, you're useless. Why did you do that? It's a time to go, well, if I created them, I can just create a different set of results. But what we're saying here is those old methods will only ever get you the same. When we take an approach that seems, in fact, there's a tendency to follow the favorite approach more and more often, such that we get better and better handling things in a particular way. We love our routines. We love certainty. We love to know what's going to happen, even if it's bad. Sometimes, I certainly can relate to this, unfortunately. I remember there was times that I was so sad, I was so down, I was so miserable. I was the biggest mood hoover at points. Hard to believe, I know. But it actually was so comfortable being there because I'd stayed there for so long. That is the frightening thing. Sometimes we spend so much time in the dark that we don't even know that there's light. And what if I kept sharing with you in every call? There's always two ends. If there's darkness, there has to be light. If there's a problem, there's a solution. If you've got one method, there's also a path of least resistance available to you. There's always an easier way, but you have to become consciously aware of it. It says, there are certain approaches in our With a certain approach results in our over-dependence on the strategies and tactics it involves. We resist new maneuvers because they make us feel clumsy, awkward, and more at risk. Now listen to this, guys. If that resonates with you, you're on the right track. Isn't that the best news ever? If you feel a little bit afraid to go for it, you're exactly where you need to be. You always are. That's the beautiful part of all of this. We're supposed to go through these struggles. We're supposed to go through the stretch. We're supposed to hurt after the gym. Because what do? Oh, I'm real sore, but it feels good. No, it doesn't. You just feel good because you know you worked out well. It's a feeling. That's why you go to the gym, because you want to feel good. You want to feel more confident. It's not because you really want to lift dirty weights up and down, like big blocks of metal. What human being wants to do that? Nobody. If we could find a way to look great without it, awesome. But you can, because it's only in your self-image. You've got to see yourself as you want to be. It says, but if you want to accelerate your rate of achievement rapidly, you must search out and vigorously employ new behaviors, new attitudes. You must be willing to break out of your routines in order to make a quantum leap. There's so many people, and this is my clients as well. Whether you're a client or whether you're not, just because you're my client doesn't mean that you have got it sorted. Me included, you included watching, we all can be better. And I don't mean you're not good. I mean, it says here, we must be willing to break out of our routines, and that means employing new behaviors and new attitudes. If I, even in my life, or any of the people that are on this, or Lindsay or Emma, if they want to perform better, and this is how I teach my team, if you want to be better, you got to employ new behaviors. You've got to employ a better attitude, because you can't outwork your performance. Why? Because your internal, how you're set in your subconscious mind, is what is dictating your results. It's not about the amount of hours you work. It's not about finding the best product on the market. It's not about having the best sales team or putting Facebook ads on, that is all stuff which will generate leads. But if you're not, getting any results from that, that's because you haven't changed the internal thinking, the behaviors, the habits, the attitude. Attitude is a composite of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Must be in alignment. You can't want better results and beat yourself up for having bad results at the same time. That's the bottom line. We've got to see it in our mind, and then we will hold it in our hand. And that's the part that we struggle with, because it's our imagination and our habits just run by habit. We just go into autopilot and we don't even realize it. Lindsay's going to kill me for this, but we were out having a walk, and we were talking about our goals and talking about things that we want to do. And we were discussing an amount of money that would be required to achieve a goal. And she was like, oh, right, okay, yeah, okay, well, I just need to save that amount then. And I went, it's interesting how you worded that. See, I would have worded it as, I need to earn that money. So I think of ways to earn and create money, whereas a lot of people, their first thought is, how can I cut back and save? Now, Lindsay wasn't talking about cutting back. She does not know how to do that. But she was just automatically in her mind, it was, I need to save. Now, do I believe in saving money to buy something? Yes. That's okay. You can save money if it's for a purpose, but don't save money for the sake of saving money. Or better yet, don't save a wee pile of money in case something happens. Do you know what you're doing? You're putting an email to the universe going, it's okay, give me all the problems, give me all the bills, because I've got a wee pot here to look after. That's literally the energy, the energetic that you're putting out there into the universe. So start to really listen to what is coming out of your mouth automatically. The things that worked for you in the past very likely could, sooner or later, lose their serviceability. Even if your customary approach still holds promise for maintaining your present level of performance and growth curve, it may not help much if you want to hit higher levels of achievement. I'm going to read that first line again. The things that worked for you in the past very likely could, sooner or later, or now, lose their serviceability. Like some of your business models, some of your processes, some of your methods have been totally wiped out or completely changed around. And what I really want you to do is to rise above that and go, it is what it is. Harvest the good. Look at the lessons I'm going to learn here. And then let it go. Just go, right, okay, that's it. I have to build a new model. Great. And if you embrace it like that, that little part of you that is wanting out will start to come to the surface. Now, if you spend more time fighting against it, giving rationales why you shouldn't have it, then you're going to give energy to why you shouldn't, and that will probably take hold, and you'll keep going down that other line. So really ask yourself, are your behavioral habits today serving you towards where you want to be? Or are you still locked into approaches that once served you? I know that you're probably afraid to go down this path, but what is the alternative? That's the key. What is the alternative? Just sit back and wait. Wait on what? There's never been a better time. It says, and if you continue to rely on those old routines, maybe even leaning on them for the most, when your performance flattens out, you create a trap for yourself. Are you in a trap? Have you created your own trap? And it's only in your thinking, so that's okay, because the way I always explain it is I help people. It's a bit like a Rubik's Cube, where you just, let's assess that. Let's look at that. Let's look at that belief. Let's look at that behavior. Where did that come from? Where did that stem from? And then it's like, I've got it. That's what awareness is. Awareness is what you all want to seek. There's nothing else that you're looking for but awareness. You just may not know what awareness is. And awareness, when you start to become more aware that you are this co-creator, that you're able to do anything that you want because you've got a marvelous mind to turn nothing into something, then the chains are let go. Do you still get a bit of fear? Yes. But that's what you use to catapult you forward. Fear always means I'm on the right path. I have to go for fear. I don't know why I'm focusing on fear. Maybe somebody's afraid of something, but fear can be good if you look at it that way. You just see it as growing pains. Just always think of the DOMs in the gym. There is a certain irony here. Your historically most dependent behaviors can become your major obstacles for future success. So if you want to do better than where you are, if you want to improve your results, sometimes that can be the very thing that trips you up. Like some of you have maybe considered joining me this weekend at the Science of Getting Rich, and then maybe you haven't. And I've had some people contact me and ask for a payment plan on a ticket of £197. Now, I'm not saying that that's bad that they need a payment plan. Now, there isn't one available, so there isn't one. But what I am trying to say is, I'm not judging you for that. I had £4.20 in my pocket. What I'm saying is, isn't that all the more evidence that you need it? Maybe you've considered joining us this weekend, but you haven't. Maybe you're still going, 197 quid, I don't know. I could use that for that, and I could use that for that. And you've probably spent it so many times in your mind. All I'm saying to you is, that is the very reason that you need onto that program. You could use any other example. Ask yourself, is the very reason you need to do something the very reason that's blocking you? Really good way to look at things, because you can get so many aha moments. It says it's possible for them to cripple your progress. So those little voices, that can totally cripple your process. They may stand as a personal boundary lines that limit what you can accomplish with your life. There is, however, another course of action. So think of it like this. If you were to draw a circle around you, and that is the extent of your awareness, being, I'm aware of how to earn X amount of money. I'm aware of having this type of relation. Your results, right? If you just put your results, your results are a direct reflection to your conscious level of awareness, okay? If you were aware of how to earn double what you're earning, you would be doing it. But you're not, because you don't know how. So that's awareness. It's an example of awareness. If we were to put your results around you and draw a big circle, that is like the boundaries of your success. You can't step over the boundary and get more results until you have also stretched your belief and your awareness out to that level. That is the key to everything that I've personally done and what my clients do and what you can do. It's your awareness that needs expanded. Your awareness around money, your awareness around goals. Most importantly, your awareness around you. Because the wonderful truth is you have no boundaries, no limitations, except those that you set up in your own mind. Isn't that crazy? And we can see it in so many examples. Network marketing, sales in any description, sports. Why is there one person that always gets to the top? They're more aware. They are aware how to become number one. And they adopted behaviors and routines and success habits and a belief system. And then once you've won once, let's think of Usain Bolt. Now he just comes on this is easy. Because he has such a solid belief system that he's already the best and nobody can touch him. It's his belief that is getting him to the number one spot rather than the training. I would not doubt that there are probably people training harder than him, being tighter with their nutrition, but they're not winning. Why? Because they keep thinking, well, Usain Bolt's the best. And if you put anybody above you, do you know where that puts you? Below them. That does nothing for your confidence. That does nothing for your self-image. Nobody is better than you. People are more aware than you, but that doesn't make them better than you. Like, I'm no better than you guys, but I probably have maybe I do have more awareness because my results are evident of it. And that's why I am so passionate, because I'm like, oh my goodness, I realized anyone can do this. Holy crap, I gotta tell people about this. So that's why I spend every day getting people to look at this and look at how it can improve their lives, because it can. So I want you to read this chapter this week. Every day, read this chapter. Change your personal rules for success. I want you to challenge yourself to change one habit, or even identify one habit. And if you really, really want to go for quantum leaps, then decide and commit that you're going to take action on just one thing this week. An action that you've never done before and that probably scares you. That will get you so much momentum. It's like a slingshot. Pyong! And you've just got to be willing to do that. Now, your paradigm will not want you to do that, but that's all the more reason to do it. Imagine you're in a boxing ring with your paradigm. You want to get a knockout, okay? Yes, Dean, I know you have a question, but I probably already am late. Let me see. Yeah, 10 minutes late for Bob Proctor. Not great. So I'm going to finish up, guys. It has been great. It was a shorter call today, but I have got loads of exciting stuff for you this week. Have you made the decision to do the Science of Getting Rich? That could be the one thing that you do this week. Now, that's not me trying to make you do it. I'm going to help the people that come on, whoever they are, and it's going to be incredible. So many of you have already jumped on. I know, and I'm probably just going to keep adding and adding and adding to this. So make the decision. Do something you haven't done before. Do the illogical. Do what everybody else thinks is crazy. If you're asking people and they're like, what? Do it. That's the best thing, okay? So I hope you've enjoyed today's session on U squared, quarantine versus quantum leaps. I've put the Science of Getting Rich in the link box. Go get your ticket. You're probably going, okay, what is it? Basically, if you want to study with me, Bob Proctor, and Sandy Gallagher for 3 days this weekend and totally expand your awareness around money, which will help you achieve all your other goals, because we need money to go on holidays and buy houses and all those things, even to eat healthier food and all that stuff. Just click the link and do it. Is it worth 197 quid? Oh my goodness, it's worth, I would pay 20 grand to go to this seminar. I genuinely would, hands down. I would, because I know what I'm going to get out of it. And it's not all about money. That's the coolest part. So get signed up, join me and my team and my clients, go through this together. It will blow your mind, and you will never be able to do this cheaper. So just make the decision. Invest in you for once in your life. You're totally worth it. I hope you've enjoyed today, guys. I'm going to shoot and I will be back. I think I'm going to be back a few times this week. So who knows what they are. I'll post them up on the page today, but I want to do another webinar, live talking webinar with you guys, a conversation around money, because I have a really exciting little part to share with you. So go get your Science of Getting Rich ticket. I will see you as soon as I remember when it is. And I got to go. I just keep talking. All right. Goodbye.